This is the Sell Your Brand Show with James Bray and Mike Killen, the one-stop shop for creative solopreneurs and startups to get the best practical advice on how to build, how to brand, and how to sell online products and content. Let's get to it.
Hey there guys, I'm Mike from Sell Your Service.
And this is James from Brandsnack.
And this week we are talking about how everything that goes wrong with your business ultimately comes back to this one thing.
Incompetency.
Yeah, just pure dum-dum.
Yeah, just absolutely being...
You're a fucking idiot. Yeah. Well, first of all, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's going on?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Good. Right. As much chemistry as always.
Yeah.
So
just on fire.
So for those of you who are constantly asking me, Mike, can you please just start getting to the content? This will be your ideal episode.
There we go.
But I'm actually now managing to drag
it out. Let's drag it out.
Nothing. Actually, this podcast came about because my business partner and I, Mark, we were having a disagreement on a few parts of running just a certain aspect of our business. And it's one part of the business and it's one part of the model, and it's certainly not everything. And we were disagreeing on, it just seemed like everything, the direction we should take, the products we should sell, the process we should use, the customers we should go after, the very business model itself.
Okay.
And I kind of felt, we're changing our processes all the time. We're changing our, who we use and our hires all the time. We're changing the direction all the time, changing the customers. And I really was like, there's such a lack of focus here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how is it that we can run... I've got my own personal business, and for MeBox there's like 2 or 3 other business units that we have, and they run, again, it's not without problems, but there's a clear focus and we know how to fix it. And for this one area, we're like, what is missing? What's going wrong? Mm-hmm. There seems to be a real lack of focus. We disagreed on a lot of stuff, and without wanting to think, Mark and I are bright guys, right? We've been doing this a long time. We've been working together for it must be coming up to 5 years now, Mm-hmm. So something wasn't right. Mark and I love working together. I'll be going out there in September to spend some more time with them and the board out there. And kind of going through this, I was chatting to a few other friends, and they were like, yeah, actually, we kind of feel the same way sometimes. Even ourselves, just running one-person businesses, we wake up and we're just unsure on what it is that we're supposed to do.
Yep.
And it's a really odd feeling because you're like, well, I know I'm supposed to make money, but where do I focus? What do I prioritize on? Where's my niche?
Yep. Who
should I be working with? What products should I be building? Should I actually just send an email? I don't really feel like writing up a newsletter or starting a blog. And there's a lot of just lack of clarity and focus and direction. Uh-huh. So I have a business mentor. He's one of our board of directors, Jim Sherbert. We've got a few others. Pat Canavan is another fantastic guy. He used to run Motorola. Mm-hmm. Jim Sherbert, huge guy. I used to be a linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, massive guy. He's retired now. And I was like a little fucking whiny little bitch schoolgirl. I was like, Jim, I don't know what to do. So I emailed him. I was like, Jim, look, it turns out that I'm not as smart as I think I am because I can't seem to solve this problem. So actually, just quickly before this, have you ever felt this? Where do you go? What do you do?
Yeah, most definitely. Where do I go? What do I do? I don't usually. I kind of try and deal with it myself in my head, which is probably not the best way to do it, because it's better to have someone with much more experience than I have in kind of helping me with it, which would be very useful. But usually I have to strip things right back to basics and just think why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What's my purpose?
Yeah.
And it usually comes down to that, and that will kind of then strip it right back and then start building up from the very kind of beginnings again.
Yep.
And then I kind of can see what everything stems from.
Yep. So, okay, right. So that's perfect, because that's kind of the way that I approached this with Jim. Mm-hmm. He jumped on the call. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning for him in Phoenix. And I said, look, Jim, here's the problems I'm going through. Staff, process, products, blah, 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 blah. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, Jim's job was to basically turn around companies. That's what he did, and he was real good at it. Mm-hmm. He would go into businesses that were flatlining or even shrinking, and he would say, Now we're going to turn it profitable. And he does. Like, he just would go into a business, become their CEO, make it profitable, and then leave, right?
Right.
We're talking manufacturing, old school chemical engineering, furniture manufacturing, some big companies. Right, there's a lot of articles and stuff about him. He's a really cool guy, really lovely guy, massive, great sense of humor. And he was like, okay, it sounds like a mission problem. I was like, no, we've got a mission. He was like, okay, tell me what the mission is. I was like, it's, the shit. Turns out we didn't. And it all comes down to the fact, every single one of these problems, and I was like, okay, well, what about this thing? What about our problem we don't know which product to sell? He's like, okay, well, what's the mission? It's like, shut up. Okay, what about, we don't know which customers or niche to go after? He's like, okay, well, what's your mission? Jim, you're not listening to me. But it turns out every single one of them came down to the mission statement being crafted for the business.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clear enough. It wasn't something that was reiterated. And I want to share with you Jim's model. He calls it his annual procurement plan.
Okay.
And it's so basic, but it's essentially something that pretty much dictates the entire direction for not only your business, but like a personal life as well. And it's just 5 very simple things, okay? Goes vision, mission, goals, tasks, reporting. Super basic. And that would basically, he would go into these big businesses, right, and be like, right, what's our vision? And people wouldn't know. And so he'd have to like, okay, well, we're going to craft a vision. Okay, well, now what's the mission? If we've got this vision of where we want to be, where we want to go, what does the future look like? What's the mission? How do we get there? And what's interesting is that, so he sent me over some documents very kindly to look over on how other people have crafted these missions. And they're very succinct. They say exactly what they're going to do, but that's the hard part, is identifying that and really nailing that down.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have goals, which are basically, what are the 5 things that you're going to achieve in order to reach that mission? Then there are your tasks, like how are you going to achieve those goals? And then reporting is how you're going to measure what you're doing with those tasks and goals, which are hopefully putting you in the right direction. And he said, the problem is a lot of people go straight to the task and goals part. They even go straight to the reporting part. So they'll have loads of tasks like write blog content, start a podcast, write a book, release a course, whatever. Whereas working back, they're like, okay, well, what goal is that for? And most people, it's like, I want to make money and have more time. Okay, awesome. So what's your mission then? And instantly they'll hit a roadblock. And above that, having a vision, a future for the business, even more ethereal. It's way out there. So I want to talk about this process of the annual procurement plan, and it's mainly around your mission statement.
Cool. Do you know what that is? Just thinking on it. Everything out there, all the content out there online, is all about tasks and
tactics.
Reporting. That's it. No one really talks about goals or missions or visions whatsoever. And to be honest, the content that's shared online, that's not in the top 10 of it. And
I'll tell you what's really interesting. So I am, in fact, by the time this is out, it'll be released. I have got a workshop released on how to create your goals, be more productive, be more motivated. And the theme throughout the entire audio workshop, it's about 3 hours of audio content, just as workshops, basically is how we are not taught how to set goals, set missions for ourselves. We're very, very good at setting tasks against other people's goals. Real good at that. But very, very rarely we're taught even how to write out a goal. So, I mean, you've got a post just on the mission statement.
A couple of posts online. On the Brand Snack website.
Just on the mission statement.
Because it's that important.
So vital to the business. So tactics, and the way that Jim kind of explained it, he was like, okay, well, think about if you're in the military and they have an operation to go, secure a village or whatever. The mission is to go in there, rescue hostages, kill the bad guys or whatever. You have to know the mission before you can employ the tactics. Because it's like saying, cool, we've got a bunch of different tactics. We've got infantry, we've got, war machines, we've got planes or whatever, we've got bombs, airstrikes or whatever. It's like, whoa. We have got all of those tactics.
Nuclear bomb.
Straight away. Straight to the nuclear option. right? But that's kind of the point. It's like, well, you have got all these other options, but until you know what the mission is, you don't worry about the tactics. It could be that just sending one guy who was I'm going to have to look this up now. He was a lateral thinker who said that we should send loads of Marmite to the Middle East
Right.
De Bono. I'm sure it'll come up. Someone's probably yelling at me here. I'm afraid I can't remember his first name. De Bono was his second name, and Edward De Bono. That's it. He thought that zinc deficiency in the Middle East, because their diet doesn't have a lot of zinc, is what causes aggression.
Okay.
So it's like, let's just send them a load of Marmite and then peace will reign. I mean, the military didn't pick it up. They ended up not going with that in the end. But so there's a lot of like, I have no idea how I got onto that. It's one of the tactics, I think.
Yeah.
So unless we know what our vision, our mission is, we can't employ tactics. And until we know what the vision is, a safer world, a more peaceful world, free education for people, then we can't decide the mission.
Yep.
So we're kind of going to work back. And the first thing we need to do is define this vision.
Yeah.
Which is like the future. And the way that I've had it is like, you can have it as both a personal and a business vision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want the future to look like? What do you want the future to look like?
Mm-hmm.
What's the future? Visually, how does it look? And describing that,
Yep.
And until you know what you want out of the future, it's going to be impossible to craft the rest of it.
Yeah, that's it. We've spoken about this before in another episode, that when you start your business, you're going to have reasons why you're doing something, and a kind of a future vision of where you would like to be, both in your personal life while you're doing it, and also for your business, and where you want that to be, and what you want that to kind of help with, and what good you want to bring to the world. Yeah.
And I think part of this is like, the problem with the vision is that people are often like, they're worried that people will think that they're gone off the rails. So what I'm trying to say is, if I say I only really want to work Tuesdays and Thursdays, I want to have plenty of time with my family, maybe I've got someone I have to look after, and I want to generate a lot of passive revenue that comes in, and people will go, well, that's impossible. And they'll say it sounds impossible because we've been taught that we have to work 40 hours a week and retire at the age of 65, 75 by the time that we'll get around to it. So therefore that can't be true, because it's too good to be true, right? It's not like these things just fall out of the sky, and they don't. You have to work towards them. But if that is your vision, I guarantee you can make that happen if you're willing to work to it. But it has to be clear. It has to be really clear in your mind. Liv and I have got very, very clear visions about what it is like. We're only working 9 months a year, 3 months away we're traveling. She's running, so it's basically to allow her to run more during the seasons and stuff. I don't want to deliver any client work at all. Mortgage paid off, all this kind of stuff. So what does the future look like? And again, for the business, I'm like, okay, well, 5 or 6 members of staff generating regular content. We're regularly quoted online. Maybe we're interviewed and things like this. So we have a vision for the business and a vision for our personal lives of what it looks like in the future. And it's got nothing to do with what other people think is possible. And if, as soon as we've got that vision, and this is where we'll kind of come into the bulk of the podcast here, is the mission then is how you're going to make that vision happen. So
exactly.
What is the process that you're going to create to make that vision happen? What are you going to contribute to yourselves, to your business, to your customers, and to the world at large to make that vision happen? And that mission statement is so important,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, my vision personally is to have enough money. I don't want to be like mega rich. It'd be nice, but it's like I don't need to own my own helicopter.
I want to be so rich that people assume that it's come from drug money. That's what I want.
When you're driving around a gold-plated Ferrari.
It's dragging along the floor because it's so heavy. Don't care, I'll just buy another one.
There's definitely not cocaine in the back. Is to have enough money to not have to work, like generally, like be there, and have enough time to spend with my family and with my children, and to enjoy time with them, take them out to places, give them the experiences that I never had when I was growing up, to take them away, to take them on holiday, to take them to different parts of the world, to open their eyes to everything. That's my personal vision. My business vision for Brand Snack is to help as many businesses as possible to have a brand that they can be proud of, that's something unique to them, and that there are a lot of businesses out there, the millions of businesses out there that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. You're talking with one, mate. Yeah,
that's why I do this with you.
Yeah.
But that don't know how to get to where they want to be.
Yeah.
And we end up with a load of really mediocre, like they could have amazing products and services, but they never make anything more of themselves because they don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
And they don't know that how a brand can manifest itself to make them get to where they want to be. And that's what I want to help.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want as many businesses as possible to have the best brand as possible for their business.
Yeah.
So that's the vision.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So that's what the future looks like.
Yeah. That's
what you're renowned for. So let's move on to the mission then, because things like goals and tasks and reporting, I don't think we'll cover too much, because I think there's other ways that we can do that. We'll touch a little bit on goals, tasks, and reporting. I'm not going to focus on.
Yeah.
Basically, the mission is how you're going to make that vision happen. Goals are the 3 to 5 things that solidify the mission. So let's say our mission was to contribute to our local community and provide a safe space for the homeless and low-income housing families to be able to educate and keep warm. That's the mission. That's what we want to do. That's what we work towards. The goals would therefore be to, set up a shelter, provide regular weekly hot meals for everyone, drive a bunch of donations, donate X amount of money to those courses, and find 100 families that require their help. Okay. Yep. And then the tasks are basically, well, how do we do that physically? What are the things we have to execute against those goals? And reporting is then every single week, even twice a week, how far have we contributed along to those goals and tasks?
Yep.
But the mission, people often completely skip the mission and the vision and go straight to the goals and tasks, and even just straight to the tasks. The mission is the statement that you write out that says, this is how I'm going to make this future happen.
Yep.
I want a world without polio or disease. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation. Their mission statement, therefore, is to eliminate polio in all its forms across all types of, all the continents of the world. So that mission statement is physically what they are going to do and contribute to the world and contribute to their own business in order to be able to achieve that. Now, you've written quite a bit about mission statements. Where do we start with the mission statement? Is there a place that we should be starting? How do we go about this process?
Yeah, usually it's down to, you need to kind of look internally to you as a business. So you need to understand what your business stands for.
Yeah, your values.
So your values, basically. And your mission is basically a mix of your values and your promise to your audience. So, for example, your values could be about honesty or delivering as much value as possible. Or your values could even be delivering like the most high-end, luxurious, best quality products.
Yeah.
Or being as charitable as possible.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of understand which angle you're coming at. And then it's about your promises. So what do you actually promise your audience? What will you allow them to do or give to them or make happen for them?
Yeah.
And once you can understand that, you then can think about a kind of actionable way of how you kind of want to put those into practice and into effect. So
it's interesting that we mentioned values here. So Rob Moore, who I spoke about last week, actually, he has a thing called VVKIK, which is values, vision, KRAs, IGTs and KPIs. I won't go into all because there's like acronym after acronym, but values are essentially the things that are most important to you in your life that are pretty unique to you.
Yep.
Even if a human being has had the exact same upbringing and life, chances are they've got values that are very, very unique to them. This is where you place like importance of the stuff and the world around you.
Yep.
Sometimes a way to be able to craft that mission is to write out all of your values.
Yeah.
To me, for example, money is extremely high on that value list.
Yep.
Not from I value money over family or anything like that. I actually believe it's the easiest way to contribute to society. It's the easiest way to be able to help people. It's the fastest thing. My personal health, very, very high on my values. Whereas things like, I don't know, I will say this, contributing to charity is not massively high on my values, partly because I think it's too easy to give money away to a bad cause. We actually recently found out, is it Oxfam that spends a load of money on child prostitution? So brilliant, you've nailed it, well done. So there's an enormous amount of that. The reason charity isn't high is because I kind of think, well, if I don't know where the money's going. Oxfam is renowned for running at profit. The clothes you give them to their shops, they bundle up and they sell for profit to third world nations in Africa and stuff like this. So there's a lot around that might be extremely high on your values, and that's fine. We need that. I need people who value charity above anything else. We need that in the world. So to understand what my values are is an important part of crafting my mission, because as you say, the second half is kind of like, well, that promise that I'll make. And my mission statement is to help 100 funnel building businesses generate $1 million.
Right.
So I want to generate $100 million worth of revenue and wealth in the world. So my mission is, say your service exists to help 100 funnel businesses generate $1 million each in revenue.
Right.
Because that's reflected from my values, it's not like I'm saying I'm going to help 100 charities find $1 million worth of donations.
Yeah.
I'm not going to help authors based in the southwest of England publish their first book, because it's just not high enough for my values. And this is something this is why the vision and the value piece come together for things like collaboration.
Yeah.
If people who you work with don't have the same vision and values, it can make a mission very difficult.
Yes.
Now, having different values is extremely important inside a business. Of course, I don't give two fucks basically about the intricacies of some of the design work. Our graphic designer, I'm like, just do this. And they're like, what do you want? I'm like, you know me, you know the business. I also trust that you're not going to produce a piece of shit. So I'm not bothered about kind of micromanaging that stuff. Whereas she is. She loves that. So that's a very important value to her. So her mission might be to contribute the most precise and exquisite design possible for this particular business, right? So understanding those values and having them written down is extremely important towards crafting your mission. And your mission only has to be like a sentence or two long, right?
Yeah, as short as possible, to be honest. I mean, it needs to be something that's memorable. Because if people can't remember what your mission is, then it's also likely that you won't when it comes down to it, when the products and services that you're creating or the way that you're communicating with your customers, you won't remember what it is, and everything will start going skewed because you won't know what you're doing. So keep it as short as possible, keeping it as actionable as possible, and also keeping it as simple as possible in its language.
Absolutely.
And when I say that, it also depends upon what area of business you're in. So simple doesn't mean you need to keep the words simple. It means it needs to be easily understandable by you and your target customer. If you're in, like, say you run a science lab, then your wording is going to be a lot more intricate and bespoke to that area of science that you do. Than if you're selling skateboards. So the language will differ, but it must be easily understandable by the target customer and the people within your business.
Okay, that's so just very quickly as well, coming back to that, it's an annual operation plan. I said annual procurement plan. I've realized I don't know where that word came from. It's an annual operation plan, AOP. So vision, mission, goals, tasks, reporting, right?
Okay.
So having it related to your audience, huge deal. Now, there's only a certain portion that are ever going to be interested in your mission, as in actually physically reading your mission statement, but I guarantee that everyone in your audience should be interested in how you are delivering that mission. Children who are having polio eradicated and malaria, I think as well. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are eliminating malaria as well. It's not polio, it is malaria. We've already eliminated polio. It's malaria that they're working on. They don't go, I'm going to check out the company EBITDA report and then see if their mission statement aligns with some of my own personal life and values. They're not. They appreciate the fact that they no longer have to take medication that makes them feel nauseous and sick and woozy. They don't have malaria. Malaria is no longer transferred kind of parent to child. Huge deal, right?
Yep.
So they understand the impact it's having on their lives through the tasks that you accomplish,
Yep.
right? Through the tasks that you actually put out there.
Yep.
But at the same point, if you were to say your mission statement to that child, our job is to eliminate malaria globally, would they understand it? Yeah, they'd understand that.
Yep.
So that's as complex as your mission statement needs to be, right?
Yeah.
And I think exactly. A lot of people, it's like a business plan. People overcomplicate business plans as well.
Oh, by far, yeah.
You know, they have like these low, like page-long documents. It's like, whoa. Tell me who your audience is. Tell me how you're going to make money. Tell me how you're going to keep it sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't need to be getting more complex than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So things like, like our mission statement is to help 100 funnel businesses generate $1 million in revenue. Everything I do then, every product I create, every audience member I go after, every process I invest in, every tool that I buy, like, because we're constantly having like new opportunities and tools and deals and stuff for like software and platforms and deals and stuff. I have to think, does this still align with my mission?
Yep.
And a lot of the times it doesn't. A lot of the times I'm thinking, actually, if I buy this, it won't get me any closer to my mission of helping people generate $100 million in revenue.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what are some of the other stages that we've got, like within your post about, you got 10 features. So it's this brandsnack.co/blog/10 must-have features for the perfect mission statement.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. So it goes back to like real basics first of all. So it's all about telling your story first of all.
Yep.
So people relate to kind of who you are and where you've come from. And this kind of goes back to your values as well and what goes into your mission statements. This is not necessarily what you need to say in your mission statement, but it's kind of how you start building up your mission statement.
Yeah.
So once you know your story of where you came from and where you're heading, then you have more of an idea of the direction and the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go on.
I was just going to say making it personal.
Yeah.
So to your audience, which we've already spoken about, it needs to be kind of representative of their wants and their needs. Like you say within the malaria example, if you say to a child, we're planning to eliminate malaria throughout the world, they want that.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as that needs to be.
One of the things, I remember a course that I built for WP Elevations over a year ago now. It's been out because I published it just after I came back from the States last time. Mm-hmm. And my first thing was, what do you want to do? What's the vision? What's the bigger impact you're having on the world, right? And overall, it was 36 videos teaching people how to generate leads for their business. And I was like, if you want to find more customers, have a really clear vision and a really clear mission. And a lot of people are like, oh, do I really have to change the world? I was like, all right, so you've all asked me, not all of you, it sounds like I'm having a go. People have asked me how to generate more leads. And a couple of you have already said the first point of 36 you're not willing to do. Right? So I don't know how else I could break this down for you. But changing the world, I think, is maybe too grandiose a term.
Definitely.
Some people want to make a difference within just Exeter, which is the city in England which James and I live near. It's certainly not the biggest city in the UK. Mm-hmm. I think it's only the biggest city in Devon by itself as a county, just marginally beating out Plymouth. Like, it's not huge.
Yep.
But if someone's job was to say, I want to eliminate homelessness within that area or eliminate whatever, that is changing the world.
Yeah.
That is changing the lives of those individuals in the area.
It's making a difference.
100%.
It's not like changing the world, like you say, is huge. That sounds like, you want to eradicate malaria.
Yeah. And the interesting,
it's making a difference.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that Bill and Melinda Gates, for example, they would say they're not going far enough with malaria. There's so many other diseases. There's so many other afflictions in the world. And your sense of scale is probably tied a little bit to your own confidence in your own abilities.
Yep.
But also, I believe you have a moral obligation to do everything you can for mankind. Uh-huh. So to say to yourself, well, I'll keep it small because there it'll be easier on me. I actually think personally that's an immoral thing to do. I think you should have as large a mission as possible that you're comfortable with, even a bit beyond that, even a bit that you're uncomfortable with, because I believe that that's what you should be doing. And I guarantee you it's also more motivating to have a bigger goal like that, a bigger mission, where you're like, I have to keep going at this. One of your things was, can you do it every single day, day in, day out?
Yeah, always deliver on it.
Is it actionable?
Yeah, is it actionable, and is it actually deliverable?
Yeah.
Yeah, so is it something that you can put an action against to do?
Yeah.
Like backing up with goals and tasks. And also, can you do it day in, day out? Is that something that you can continuously work on to achieve?
Because talking about how to sell marketing funnels and run a marketing funnel business, not only can I talk about that day in, day out, I do. It makes me a fucking boring party guest. People don't invite me out anymore.
That's why, that's why you've stopped coming to my house.
Yeah. One of many reasons.
We don't go to the pub anymore.
Yeah, well, the problem is you're right. I can't help myself but talk about, I'm going to teach you how to run a business, and you can do all this kind of cool stuff, and proposals and sales, and did you know you're morally obliged to close the customer? And people are like, Mike, calm the fuck down. It's a board game night.
That was when we went out for my birthday to that bar, wasn't it? And my father and brother-in-law.
We did.
You were giving them a big talk about
I did.
our business.
And it is. And it becomes like, fucking hell, give it. But the reality is,
drink your beer, Mike.
With a mission, with a mission and a vision that strong, that is what's going to motivate you and push you forward. And people often ask me, how is it you're so motivated all the time? It's because I have a genuine moral obligation against my mission, and it excites me. I love talking about it. Yeah, there are days where I'm like, I really don't feel up to this. But because I want to do it every day, it makes it a lot easier to get through that.
Yep.
Even, this is the funny thing, a lot of people are like, wow, $100 million in wealth? Helping 100 businesses generate $1 million? $1 million is not a huge amount of revenue.
No.
Realistically, it's actually not. Also, $100 million out of the $700 trillion in free cash available is like a fraction of 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 a percent.
Yep.
It would like be me saying, I'm going to add one brick to one house. What the hell, so what? Who cares? Like, it's such small fry in this grand scheme of things.
Yep.
And yet I think it's probably just a little bit out of what I could potentially reach, which is why I want to strive for it.
Yep.
But like you say, it's actionable.
Yeah.
I can do stuff every single day to help people get to that goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Another big thing that I really love on your post, we'll share the link, is polarizing people.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
If anything, that might be one of the most important points.
Yeah, because you then filter out your audience from those that you don't really want to be working with. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be doing your business to help a particular person, a particular type of person.
Yeah.
You can't help everyone.
Yeah.
And if you are aiming to help the world, then your mission's too vague. It's too general.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things you kind of mentioned at the end is like, it's not set in stone.
Yep.
And you can change it. Now, there's obviously a big difference between changing it to chase an opportunity.
Yep.
Or chasing an opportunity to fit your mission statement. There's a difference. But your mission isn't set in stone, right?
No.
You can adapt it and evolve it over time.
Yeah, exactly.
And make sure that it's... Because over time, it took me a long time to understand that was my mission statement. That's what I wanted to do.
Yep.
But it can change and adapt, and you'll find things that you want to really focus on, and that's fine with that, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I first started Brand Stack, my mission was not completely different, but it wasn't as refined as it is now. And I think your mission won't change, it will evolve. So you will never be like, I'm going to build 20 houses for the homeless to you know what, I'm going to make the best ice cream in the world. Yeah. But you will start seeing your initial mission start evolving depending on the capabilities that you have, the resources that you have, because that massively affects your mission, not in what you'll be doing, but more in the scale and the size that you will be able to achieve it.
Yeah, I tell you what I'd be interested in. I found for me, one of the things that really refined my mission statement was repeatedly writing content.
Yep.
And the more content I wrote and the more conversations I have, the firmer my mission became.
Yeah.
Like I understood what people wanted, what they really needed, what they valued, what they desired.
And that's a huge part of it as well, knowing what your audience wants.
Yes. You know,
again, like we do say this every show, but
we do.
Knowing what your audience wants and knowing how they want to be helped.
Yeah.
And what their problems are. And that's basically where your mission should be. What's their number one problem?
Yeah.
And how are you going to help them do that to the benefit of them and to the benefit of your business?
Yes, absolutely. Man, I think I mean, mission again is something we do. We spent like 3 days in Phoenix just trying to work out our mission. You can do it a long time. It requires a little bit of introspection. One of my pieces of advice is to take what we call the long walk, which is to say that if you want to figure out your mission and have all of this stuff running around your head and you understand the process, going for a walk and keep walking until you've got the mission clear in your head and you can't turn around until you've got that mission. Then come home, write it on your laptop, close the lid, leave it for 24 hours. Like magic happens. Your brain is really, really good at working things out when you're not focused on them.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you go for a walk and you say to yourself, I'm not going to turn around. We've done it. Well, I know guys who've gone for like 4 or 5 hour walks and then come back and they've realized this is exactly what I have to do.
Yeah.
Come back, write it down, close the laptop lid. Do not come back to it for 24 hours and then reread it. It'll become very, very clear. Like this kind of epiphany moment, a level of clarity on your mission.
Yeah.
So don't feel that it's something you can necessarily just carve out.
Yeah.
You might write 100 drafts. But like you said, it's not going to transist from I'm going to help build homes for the homes for the homeless, and then I'm going to make the world's best gelato ice cream. There's still going to be some consistency there, so don't worry about it. You know.
Yeah, I think digital marketer also right off the bat, I think in their welcome email, tell you what their mission is.
Double the size of 10,000 businesses.
10,000 businesses.
You're right, and they're very proud about that.
Yeah,
maybe I need to be saying more. I want to help 100 funnel, because it also says, well, this business can help me double my business.
Yeah,
this business can help me generate $1 million in revenue.
Well, that's it, and
that's a good point, actually.
Their mission statement says it for both as well. So double the size of your business.
Yeah.
So for you, that's your benefit.
Yeah. What's in
and
it for me?
10,000 businesses, that's their benefit.
Yeah. It's good.
So it's a bit of both. It's how can you help your customer in the best way possible, and how can you help your business achieve and grow.
Who'd have thought the digital marketer would come up with a decent piece of content?
Wow.
You know, who'd have thought that? So good.
You gotta love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a very, very good example of a mission statement. Short, concise, benefit for you, benefit for the customer.
And I tell you what's interesting is like this course we've got coming out. It's probably based around one of my new books, like Universe Fuel.
Oh yeah.
But it's about how to set goals and be more productive in motivation and stuff. But it is still like it would help people generate $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So the product is way off of marketing funnels, and it could even be for anyone in the world. But it still adheres to the overall mission.
Yep.
You know, and yet some stuff that I think is related to a funnel, like at one point we were looking at creating our own email automation platform,
right?
Which is automation and funnels and stuff. And I'm like, is that going to help people generate $1 million for their funnel business? Probably not. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's really interesting the perspective it gives you when you start viewing the world through that mission, you know?
Yep.
And then, you've kind of got all your tasks and goals and stuff, which I'm sure we'll go on to another point. But this annual operation plan given to me by Jim Sherbert, it's a furiously simple model that he uses to turn businesses around into crazy levels of profitability, even in like shrinking markets. And it just works, man.
And that's all it needs to be. It needs to be that simple. Business isn't complicated.
Yeah.
It's simple as you make it.
Yeah.
And that's as complicated as it needs to be.
If it's me. I mean, real simple. Two-digit IQ simple. If it's me. Yeah.
What do you sell?
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah, things.
Good, Mike.
Nailed it.
How have you made it this far?
Yeah. Cool, man. And
That
thank
was
you for taking us through that blog post. What was the other one you've got about mission statements? Is that knocking around?
Yes, there is also another one, which was a couple of weeks after that, which is...
Because I know you've got 2 posts on the mission statement.
Yeah, the other one's, I think, 10 steps to creating your mission statement.
Cool.
So the first one's about the features
Yeah.
that you should have in it and like how you can kind of look to crafting it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one is actually creating it.
Good. All right, we'll include those links in the show notes. But that's awesome. Cheers for taking us through that, mate.
That was really good. Thank you for the
Sweet.
the AOP.
AOP. Fuck it now. Real simple. Real simple.
Gotta love it.
Content report.
Yes.
What's going on?
My content report was actually that blog post, which we've already gone through.
So unbelievably
Let's
lazy.
skip out. Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I've been reading. I think I've reread this because I might have listened to the audiobook a long time ago. Rich Dad's Guide to Investing.
Oh yeah.
By Robert Kiyosaki. It's the sequel, I think, to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then Cash Flow Quadrant, or maybe it's Cash Flow Quadrant is the second book and Guide to Investing is the third book. I can't remember. Really interesting book. Once you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad and you understand the philosophy and the mindset, it talks through the different levels of investors, and it's absolutely fascinating. What a lot of people think is investing is essentially gambling or speculation.
Yeah.
And I think I could say with confidence that I'm probably what they consider a level 3 or 4 investor, which is where I'm educated. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not a millionaire, but it's actually the process I use to repeatedly build out my investment portfolio, as opposed to saying, yeah, I'm going to put some money in, I don't know, some random stock because I've heard it's going to do well. I don't know the business. I don't know the industry. Therefore, it could go up or down. Yeah. Even if it goes up, that's still speculation.
Yep.
As opposed to having a regular plan of putting aside money. And even things like, if the best deal in the world comes along and somehow through some magic fluke you have like $10 million to invest, but you've never invested in anything before, in some cases it can actually be illegal for you to invest in that size deal because you've never invested in anything before.
Right.
Really, really interesting about building up your wealth. And yeah, big fan, obviously, of Robert Kiyosaki and the Rich Dad brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, again, their mission, I think, is to eliminate financial ignorance across the world, something like that, or to educate the world on financial matters, something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how they do that with products and books and courses and games and stuff like this. So yeah, big fan of that. Rich Dad Guides to Investing.
Gotta love a bit of Mr. Rob.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right, then.
I think that about does it.
I think it does.
And yeah, thanks very much for listening, guys.
Yep.
And of course, if you've got any questions at all, you can email us, podcast@sellyourbrandshow.com. Com? It's .com.
.com.
Yeah, it's because Beaver Funnels is beaverfunnels.co, and I keep forgetting. I keep typing, I'm like, where's my website got? Oh, yeah, so it's different.
They've taken it down, bastards.
Different top level domain. podcast@sellyourbrandshow.com.
Yep.
You can ask us any questions, and we'll do our best to answer them, or find someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, listen to a completely different podcast altogether.
Well, email us, and we'll recommend you a podcast that can actually help. Yeah. All right, then, man. I'll see you next week.
Cool. See you guys next week.
Cheers, and guys.
Bye.
If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the Sell Your Brand Show on iTunes or your favourite podcast app and leave a rating and a review. It makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside when we hear we're not just talking rubbish. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, drop us an email to podcast@sellyourbrandshow.com and we'll feature it in a future episode.